This can match, sorry to interrupt, this can match with our other question about the balance between the intuition and this operating within some paradigm of knowledge.
Let me give you an anecdote again. I like to give stories when I have to answer some of these because I have nice things from my tradition, our tradition, about these topics. And that is, so on one occasion, I really like this story. Jagannath Rath is in the marketplace. I'm sorry, I correct myself. This is the story of Kashinath Rath, Sanjay's uncle. I correct myself. I have a nice story about Jagannath Rath, but never mind that. And so Kashinath Rath is in the marketplace. He is doing his thing. He has to buy something to bring it home. And in the marketplace, he is stopped by one of the members of the town. He's having a problem, this person. He's a client. And Kashinath Rath says, all right, this is urgent. We have to deal with it. Please come with me back to the house. I've finished my shopping. Let's go back and I'll answer your question. On the way, they're discussing the problem, trying to understand it. Kashinath Rath does not give an answer to the question on the whole walk. But whilst he's on the walk with this client, he is observing all the omens on the way pertaining to the question. He still does not give an answer to the client until they sit at home in his house and draw the question chart, the prashna. Until then, he has not said anything to answer, but he has taken into account and noted all the omens. And now that he draws the question chart, he's answering the question.
Yeah.
Okay. So when somebody asks how important, why aren't we just using our intuition? It is because our intuition is supposed to be supporting our answers.
Very nice.
It is not giving the answers. It is supporting the answer. And I've had this question from students also as to they start asking questions after some time. And you know how it is in settings where they start asking and saying, Visti, are you sometimes using your intuition to answer questions? And can we grow our intuition to be able to do that? And then I give this example and also make a careful note that think of Jyotish as like this. Initially, you're dependent on the birth chart. Then with time, you are dependent on the prashna chart. Then you start depending on the watch prashna, so that you are not dependent on anything but your memory of the planetary positions and the omen of the watch telling you what to look at right now. It's an omen. You're praying to get to know when to look at it, you see? So that's now your prayer is defining a bit of your Jyotish. And then we have my Guruji, who is now doing card prashnas, which look like, playing card tarot, without tarot deck, just using a play deck. So that is another step where you're using your mantra to guide you what to see when. And then eventually, I know from my own Guruji, he has been put in situations where forcibly he could not open a chart, he could not open a card deck, and yet he has to answer a client. And then he notes the omens, and based on his breath or something similar, he answers the question. So for a Jyotisha, the idea is that we are taking our steps away from what is presented in front of us as principles, and still applying and understanding those principles well enough to start moving into it being intuitive. But the intuition is still guiding us to read this.
Absolutely.
Essentially, the idea of using breath and omens is coming from Shiva Swarodaya.
Beautiful.
I like to think of Jyotish to be a practice of trying to control two elements. Either you're trying to control Agni, which enables you to see, or you're trying to control Vayu, which enables you to feel. And the Vayu enables you to feel, among other ways, through your breath. That's why Vayu. So you're trying to control the two malefics. Agni Grahas are the malefics, Vayu Grahas are the malefics. Jyotish is an attempt to control these.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
Can I just add a few things to that amazing, the repertoire of, whether it's the cards, or I started doing this, and it is so fascinating. It's called the Tambulam Prashna. Have any of you heard? So fascinating. Again, it's a whole new world in there where the client can select the number of tambulam, but you need the beetle.
Can you tell us what is the tambulam?
Tambulam is this heart-shaped beetle leaves, which often you have like prasad, or you give, to any of the. It's one of the most auspicious leaves. If you see, they are like beetle nut leaf. It's absolutely heart-shaped. It's perfect, and it has got these grains going over the leaves, and they are so beautiful. So depending on what the grain, there's a male, female grain, and depending on how many leaves you are selecting, and the client tells you to select what the grain is, you can make a whole prediction. So it's a lot like the prashna. Then there is, of course, the choi prashnam, which is those shells, which is very popular in Kerala, right?
In the Prashna Marga, it's also written.
Choi Prashnam is a fantastic tool. Now, that's again, it's been a bit of my learning journey on the Choi Prashnam. My other favorite is numerology. And everybody goes like, oh, come on, Sona. But you know what? What fascinated me was there is a town in, I think it's in Kerala or Tamil Nadu, I'm not sure. It's called Kaladi, okay? You must have heard of Kaladi, right? Yeah. Now, Kiro, the famous numerologist and astrologer, he actually traveled to India, and he found one of the Siddhars from the town of Kaladi who gave him a percentage, okay, 1 or 2 principles on numerology. And he took it to the West, and it became the Chaldean system, or the Chaldean system. I think it's the Chaldean system, if I'm not wrong. And guess where the name gets connected from? Kaladi. So you see, it is phenomenal. There is a whole, there's a whole civilization which works. You just have the eyes to open up,
Yeah.
And the study. And the sadhana is the only way because the sadhana will give you the forbearance and the strength to go through this shastras in patient manner.
Yeah, this is very interesting.
Don't you think? Because that is what ultimately it boils down to. How much of dedication and bhakti and tapasya you can do towards the subject, towards the learning.
I would ask maybe Visti ji about because many people will be a little bit skeptic about numerology. Skeptic, yeah. But we are also using numerology very much into Jyotish. It's very authentic practice. So maybe you can give us few application.
We're both aware of so many.
Yeah.
Right. I think the best way I can answer this is to refer to one classic, or not. I don't want to call it a classic. It's still new when you consider all the ancient classics. There's a book on Nashta Jataka. It's called Nashta Jataka by Mukunda Daivagya. Yeah. In that, he has given various methods of finding the lost horoscope, Nashta Jataka. When he does this, the Mukunda Daivagya, which is an excellent author on the topic of Jyotish, those books are, please get those books. But in that particular Nashta Jataka book by Mukunda Daivagya, he has also given the various branches of numerology applied to find the lost horoscope. And they also apply to everything else we do in life.
Beautiful.
And there is essentially 2 methods that I would like to highlight. One is called the Aka Chatatapa Yashavarga.
Wow, okay.
Aka Chatata Yashavarga. And the other one is the Katapayadi Varga. They're called like this because of which vargas of Sanskrit you're using. Do you start with Aka Chatatapa Yasha, or you just do Katapayadi? So there's a reason they're called that. but they're given properly in this work of Nashta Jataka, Kunta Daivakya. And so if somebody wants to study this, I recommend learning it first from there, and then learning the breadth of their application after that. But we do use this a lot. And the reason is why? Because numerology is essentially an attempt to convert nature into numbers.
Yes.
That's the essence of it. And then somebody will say, well, animals don't apply to things like numbers and names, which is true. They don't really. This very much applies to human beings because this is something that we use to measure, especially in the form of names. Not so much numbers apply to everyone, even animals, but names apply to us very much. And so therefore, we need to take that very seriously to see impacts on other people's minds.
Interesting.
And multiple minds. Yes, on our own minds. Essentially, as soon as we start using the concept of words and numerology together, we're dwelling on the idea of what mantra are you doing? And your first mantra is really your name. And that mantra is working your whole life, even if you got no other mantra.
Yeah.
And we want to see its impact on your life.
So it's better as a good name.
Hence the reason that numerology and name choosing is so important.
Yeah.
Yes. Does that
interesting?
Fascinating.
Okay, guys, so that's all for today. I hope you find this interesting and informative. Please don't forget to subscribe because there is a chance that we will continue with this format. And I want to thank you, my guest. It was, as always.
Thank you, Visti.
Yeah, very interesting
really
questions.
nice. Thank you.
I have to say, there's nothing like being in person.
Yeah,
meeting.
that's
Don't
true.
you think?
Absolutely.
So,
That's true.
so I would definitely recommend. So do come to Leeds, do come to London, and we'll do more of this.
Yeah. So thank you and see you in the next one.